Class begins every morning at 8 a.m. Almost immediately, students are in their SWAT gear. Senior instructor Dennis O'Connor.
We run from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening every day. We don't take a lot of breaks. Lunches are at a limited time.
O'Connor was a student here at GTI a few years ago. He was so impressed with the training, he applied for an instructor spot because it was different from every other class he attended.
It wasn't one of the typical schools I've been to where you go through the classes, you finish up, you get a certificate of completion, and you leave.
Before every exercise, students measure their blood pressure and heart rate. The normal should be around 40 to 60 beats per minute while resting. But sometimes the officers get so excited about the mission, sitting down, their heartbeats are racing at 180 beats per minute.
Your blood pressure is going up, your heart rate's going up, everything's taxed on you, so you've got to be in good physical condition to be able to operate under those conditions.
This active shooter house is designed to make officers think. The walls can easily be moved to simulate a different building, and there are real-world obstacles as well, like tables, chairs, and beds.
When you're dealing with terrorism, you're not dealing with the common criminal. Okay, you're dealing with people that are there to make a statement. They're not really there to negotiate with us.
One of the biggest mistakes these officers make, they pause before going into a room. Terrorists want them to pause, so instructors remind them that this is a big mistake.
I see your foot. I'm okay. Go!
When they come under fire with the simunitions, they kind of like stop, or they're not sure what to do. But through training, you teach them to fight through that, to push towards their objective.
Simunition rounds are similar to paintballs, but are hard plastic with a red marking die and fired through the same type of guns they'll use in the real world.
It'd be real hard to duplicate exactly this type of setting at home.
Every one of these students are SWAT team veterans, some with more than 20 years experience. Yet against the military-trained instructors,
You might as well roll up and fix the problem yourself.
they admit they learn something new every time they run the course.
Yeah, I've been in law enforcement 18 years. This is probably the most realistic training I've done in my 18-year career.
By the end of the day, the students have to pass a test, clear 2 rooms with paper targets. The students are now firing lethal ammunition. The student scores points by shooting the armed targets center mass while avoiding the unarmed targets. The stress causes tunnel vision, causing a few officers to miss the targets less than 10 feet away. And at least one officer shot a hostage. It may look easy, but some students still fail the course.
It's not about, brawn and, just running through a structure. This is a thinking man's game. You got to be able to think when you're on the move.
Here is why this is so hard to pass. From ground level, a student enters a dark room, and it's not easy to see if the target is armed or not. Can you tell whether this target is armed from this angle in a split second? In this case, he is, but it could have been a cell phone. O'Connor recalls a situation as a police officer where he encountered tunnel vision, yet managed to fight through it.
Now, and I was able to see at that particular time I was in a crossfire situation with these 2 officers, which enabled me to move to a better position where I wasn't in a crossfire.